Hey, what's going on everyone? Axel here. In this video, I'm going to give my reaction and thoughts on the Nintendo Switch press conference that was yesterday, January 12th, 2017. This is the press conference where they gave out all kinds of new info on the console. So let's go ahead and get started with some of the more basic things about the console that they announced. First thing they announced was, well, it wasn't the first thing, but one of the first things they announced was the price, and it's going to come in at $299 US, and that's a tiny bit higher, I think, than most people were expecting. A few days ago, there was a leak going around saying it was going to be $250, but that turned out to not be true. I think that $299 is okay. $250 obviously would have been better, but I feel like Nintendo, considering what they're giving you in the bundle, is kind of stretching the cost. I doubt Nintendo's making much of a profit on this. They're probably breaking even. They did announce earlier in the year that they were not planning to take a loss on this console. So let's talk about what it comes with, and that's why I was saying that I'm a little understanding of how much it costs considering what you get. You get the tablet, of course, and two Joy-Con controllers, which are the standard controllers that attach onto the console, onto the tablet portion. You get the dock, of course, that's going to plug into your TV. I assume that's going to serve as sort of a charging station / TV plug-in. You're also going to get a standard controller, which I don't remember the name of this one, but basically it's a kind of a box-shaped controller that you can use. Kind of like if you want to play just on the TV, you can take the Joy-Cons off of the tablet and put it on this like box controller and play that way. It looks like an okay solution, but it's not going to look it looks not like all that comfortable. If you're really serious about playing on your TV, you're probably going to want to shell out money for a Pro controller, which unfortunately is not included with the system. And the prices of the additional Pro controllers and additional Joy-Con controllers are actually really high. I think it's something like $70, somewhere in the $70 to $80 US range, which is a lot. And that was a little disappointing. But you are getting kind of a lot with the console. It's really up to if the standard controller that's bundled in with the system is actually comfortable. It may not be a big deal. You may not feel an urge to get a Pro controller. But I'm guessing just based on its shape that it's not going to be that comfortable. One good thing they announced was no region lock, which is a big deal. Finally, Nintendo is getting rid of this old ancient system of region lock that all of the other consoles have long since gotten rid of. The Wii U, for whatever reason, is region locked. So basically that means if you want to play a game from Japan, you can order it from Japan and play it, or from Europe and play it. No longer is Nintendo going to make 3 different versions of the consoles for each of the major world markets: Europe, Japan, and US, North America. So you don't have to worry about you can order a game from anywhere across the world and play it. Say maybe like a Japanese version gets extra features, or maybe there's a game that's only released in Japan. You can now order that and play it. You might not be able to read it. It might be in Japanese, but at least you can play it. One other thing they brought out that surprised me about the system was just how focused they were on motion controls. They did this whole presentation on the Joy-Cons and all the things that are included. You know, they've got sensors. You can hold the Joy-Con and you can feel the sensation of like water in the Joy-Con. It's, you know, I was a little disappointed in that because they spent a lot of time talking about those motion controls. And I'm sorry, but I don't care about motion controls anymore, and I think a lot of gamers are really over that. I mean, that was big with the Wii in like 2006, but it's 2017. The Wii U didn't do that well, so I don't know what they're thinking about motion controls, why they're still focusing on that. Maybe it's because Splatoon has motion controls, and that's really popular. But for whatever reason, they announced just how awesome it would be to have these motion controls. Yeah, I don't really see that working out. That was really disappointing, because they announced a few games that are like motion control based that reminded me so much of Wii Sports. The first one they announced, I think, was 1-2 Switch, which is just like a party type game. The main portion of it they highlighted was like a Wild West shoot 'em up quick draw type game where you kind of face your opponent and just try to see who can pull their Joy-Cons out the most. There's probably a lot of other games similar to that included in that game, but I don't see that being that popular. Just Wii Sports is come and gone. It's not Wii Sports, but it's similar. It's a similar kind of deal. It's motion control gimmicks. And then they had another game called ARMS, which looked a lot like Wii Sports Boxing mixed with Wii Sports Bowling. Basically, it's a fighting game. You just kind of swing your arms around to control your character movement on the screen. I think it's being priced at $60 it's being priced like full price, which is weird. It seems like ARMS should have been just another mini game included in 1-2 Switch. I don't understand what about that game is making it seem like it's a completely new game. I mean, there must be a lot more to it than they showed us. There better be if they're going to charge full price for it. Okay, let's get to some of the cooler and really more hype stuff that they showed us. The first thing was a new Mario game, which they did show us a glimpse of this at the Switch reveal trailer months ago, but they announced the name of it. I think it's called Super Mario Odyssey. It's the main gimmick, the new thing in that game is Mario can use his hat. He can like throw it and use it as a platform, stuff like that. It looks like it's very open world-ish. There's a lot of different locations they showed, but it's probably going to play similar to something like Mario 64, Mario 3D World, something of that nature. It looks bigger and more expansive. Hopefully it is open world and not just partially open world. But we'll see. But the one bad thing about that is they announced that game would not come out until holiday 2017, which sucks because that's almost whole year away, just a little under a year away. Which, I was kind of thinking that would be something that would be in the launch lineup, or at least close to launch, because they showed that. Why would they show that game in the reveal trailer if they weren't going to bring it out until holiday 2017? It's just a little odd. The big game they highlighted was the new Zelda, which fortunately that is coming release on launch day. It better be coming on launch day, because if that didn't come on launch day, they would have hardly anything available at launch. Really, Zelda is kind of the only big game that's being released at launch. Yeah, there's some other things. There's some ports. There's some indie games. There's some like motion control games like ARMS and 1-2 Switch. But Zelda's really the only real game, like actual sit down on your couch and get immersed into it type game that's being released. The other things are, like I said, games that are old, like Skyrim, or just motion control type party games for the most part. I'm sure there'll be a couple exceptions. They haven't told us everything, I'm sure. Hopefully there's a few surprises. But I'm a little disappointed because one thing they didn't show is I thought this reveal overall was okay, somewhere between okay and slightly disappointing, but they really needed another big game that they hadn't told us anything about. Like, I was really expecting like a new Donkey Kong to come out this summer, or a new Metroid or something like that to come out within this launch window, because the only big real games that are new that are coming out this year that we know of is Zelda at launch and Super Mario Odyssey in the holiday of 2017. So that's a little disappointing. Now, a few of the notable ports that they are putting onto the system is Skyrim, which finally, it's nice to have it on a Nintendo console. It actually is bringing something new to Skyrim, which is like a 5-year-old game at this point. You'll actually be able to play it on the go unless you have some type of gaming laptop. This is going to be the only device I know of that's going to offer that game on the go, so that should be very appealing. There's a lot of people who love Skyrim out there and are still playing it even to this day. One thing I want to see, though, is if Skyrim will have mods available on the Switch version. I don't know. I recently bought the HD remastered. Well, it wasn't HD, but it is HD, but it's the whatever. It's the new version, remastered version that they put out on the Xbox One, PS4. I just bought it for my Xbox One. As someone who hasn't played Skyrim in the past, I am enjoying it, but I probably won't buy it on the Switch. And what else do they have? Okay, some of the other notable ports they mentioned were Wii U ports, like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which it's a game I own on my Wii U. It's fun and all, but this isn't enough incentive for me to buy it. It looks like there's probably going to be some new tracks and a few new characters, and that's about it. I don't really care. I already have Mario Kart 8 on my Wii U. I've played it a lot. I'll just keep playing it on that. The other thing they announced was Splatoon 2, which it looks like they could have just called this Splatoon Deluxe as well, because they didn't show off too many new things that I saw. It looks like some of the movement was different. It looks like there are a couple new weapons. I think dual wielding is a new thing. I don't know for sure. I'm not someone who's played a lot of Splatoon. I don't own the game. I'm sure some people will like it though. That's a really popular game. One thing I was really disappointed though is that we didn't hear anything about like a new Pikmin, new Donkey Kong. Why isn't there a port of Smash Brothers announced? Or like, how about GameCube backwards compatibility? Is there going to be a Super Smash Brothers Melee offering on the Nintendo eShop? I would like to hear more about that. Okay, overall, like I've sort of stated already, it was slightly disappointing. I think they were like they're 1 to 2 games short. The problem is there's really only 2 big games launching this year that we know of so far, and that's Mario Odyssey and Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. For me personally, I was on the fence about buying a Switch before watching this presentation, and this presentation pushed me over the fence into the I'm not going to buy it yet area. I'll probably pick up the console in the future sometime, maybe in a couple years, but right now, this is telling me, it's kind of giving me the same vibe that the Wii U did. Like, I should have waited longer to buy it because there weren't that many good games that were out. I'll probably wait until maybe 2018 sometime to buy this when the library's filled out a little more. I don't think that Zelda is enough of an incentive for people to go out and buy this at launch, especially considering that Zelda, as far as we know, unless they've canceled the Wii U port, isn't even a Switch exclusive. It's going to appear on the Wii U as well. So I'm happy, unless it just runs like garbage on the Wii U, which I don't expect because Nintendo tends to have high quality in their products. Unless it runs like there's some big compelling reason to buy it on the Switch, I'm just going to buy it on the Wii U and play it that way. I don't really care that much about the graphical difference. I'm sure it'll still look fine on the Wii U. So that's what this presentation did for me. Slightly disappointing, and I'm probably going to wait to buy a Switch. Hope it does well, though. I'm a Nintendo fan, so I wish success for it. Even if you aren't a Nintendo fan, you should be hoping this thing succeeds, because if it does, that means that Microsoft and Sony are going to get more of a fire lit under them, because there's going to be an extra competitor in the market, and they're going to have incentives to do more things that benefits gamers. So if Nintendo does well, all of us do well. Anyone who's a Sony fan, Microsoft fan, Nintendo fan, we can all benefit from Nintendo doing well, and I hope they do. So guys, that's it for this video. Please comment below and let me know what your reaction was to this reveal, if you liked it, if you didn't like it, or if you're planning to buy a Switch. And guys, I'm a new YouTuber here on this channel. Well, not a new YouTuber, but this is a new channel for me. So if you enjoyed this content, please subscribe, give me a like so you can be tuned into future videos in your subscription feed. That's all for today. You all have a good one.